Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I am Erik Johansson, a teacher with LSAT Demon and producer for these podcasts. Joining me is Nathan Fox, co-founder of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Oh, looks like we got an audio question submitted by Adrian. Let's have a listen.
Hey, Ben and Nathan, also maybe Erik, thank you for all the work that you guys have done on the podcast and the Demon. I am over a year out from when I want to start applying to law schools, and I am worried my GPA will not be competitive enough to achieve my goal of a 75% or more discount from Georgetown. I'm starting my third year in my undergraduate program, and I have a 3.64 GPA due to some heavy slackery the first 3 semesters of college. Realistically, because I have 2 years left, I think I could raise this to a minimum of 3.8, but looking at 509 reports, it still places me at or below the 25th percentile for most of schools that I'm applying to. Is my GPA too low to be a competitive applicant for these high-ranked schools? And if so, what steps can I take to make my application more enticing to admissions officials? Thank you. And I'm sorry for the bad audio quality.
Audio's not that bad.
No.
Okay, so thank you, Adrian, for writing in. Erik, you have some more notes here that says Adrian plans to apply to Duke, UVA, NYU, Georgetown, Texas, North Carolina, Florida State, and Colorado. Quite a range there of schools.
I like that there's a geographic range, and we do get some range in how these schools are ranked.
Rankings range, yeah.
Yeah, but I think the list should be longer.
Yeah, if that's all you're applying to, I mean, that's only 8 schools. You could definitely broaden that out. Adrian has a diagnostic of 153. He also asks, is it realistic to aim for a 173 LSAT score in June of 2025? That's a long time from now. I have work experience with a criminal defense attorney's office, climate activism, and mental health research, and could become more involved with any one of them if need be. How should this factor into my admissions decisions? I think maybe he meant applications decisions. Wow. Okay. So a lot going on here.
First question, is a 3.64 GPA too low? Or I guess Adrian expects to be at a 3.8. Is that too low for, we'll say, top 14 schools for the likes of Georgetown?
I mean, it's probably lower than Georgetown's. I'm sure it's lower than Georgetown's median. He says it's at or below the 25th percentile for most of the schools. So, you're going to want to get in there as a splitter with a 153 diagnostic. You certainly could get yourself into the high 160s or 170s. Between now and June of 2025, it is, I would think, totally realistic to aim for a 173. We see 20-point improvements all the time at LSAT Demon. Mm-hmm. You'll have to work for it, but we see people do it. I mean, we got hundreds of people who have reported that kind of an increase after studying with us. So you absolutely can do it. And if you did do it, then now you would be above Georgetown's median LSAT and below their median GPA. And they probably admit some people who look like that.
Yeah, the other resume stuffing stuff that you're talking about, Adrian, pales in comparison to what the LSAT is going to do for you. Yeah, having some work experience, great. Should you dip into that work experience more or pursue that further? If it's interesting to you, if you enjoy that work, sure. But it's not going to be the make or break thing on your applications. It's your LSAT that will make up for your low GPA, if anything does.
Yeah. What kind of a lawyer, Adrian, do you want to be? If working in the criminal defense attorney's office feels like it's a step in the direction of practicing criminal law, then by all means do that because it's the beginning of your legal career. Don't do it because you think it's going to make your application look stronger, though. The way to make your application look stronger is to make sure that you get straight A's or A pluses from here on out. Then once you've got that under control, work on your LSAT until you get it as high as you can get it, hopefully mid 170s for these kinds of schools. And if you never did a day more at any of these work experiences, I wouldn't care because grades and LSAT is going to be where it's at for you. climate activism just feels a bit. I'm skeptical of that. I don't doubt that you're, trying to do good work. It's just that like that you're not standing out from any crowd doing that. There's going to be, so many applicants who are going to have climate activism stuff on their resumes, and I could just imagine law schools going, okay, who are you going to work for to fund that? Because the climate doesn't hire lawyers. Mental health research makes me even more nervous because what does that have to do with law practice? I mean, do you want to be a counselor or something like that? Then that's not law. Do you want to be an academic in a medical adjacent field? Then that's again not law. I mean, obviously law touches everything, but I just the unfocused nature of these work experiences makes me think that you're not yet like really 1,000% sure about what you want to do in the law. And that makes me think that you should do more stuff to try to get more certainty about what it is that you want to do before you just start firing off applications to law schools. It's not too late to do something else, Adrian. I mean, and I'm not saying the ship has sailed at these schools. You're a good candidate. If you get the right LSAT, you're still a strong candidate at many of these schools. I have no doubt that you could get in and get a decent offer, but is it the right thing for you? Because when people say, those three things, one of those clearly requires law school. The other two, I would say, when in doubt, if those are your interests, law school is probably not the right thing for you. I want to say this again as clearly as possible. Do not, Adrian, take any steps whatsoever to make your application more enticing to admissions officials until you are getting straight A's and your LSAT's in the 170s. You do not want to divide your attention any further than that. And you probably don't want to even be focusing on the LSAT until you've got the straight A's.
Yeah, grades first, Adrian. For real. I mean, to put it in context, I am one data point, but I applied with a 3.82, which is around what you think you'll have, and a 175. And I got into some of the likes of Georgetown, UCLA, Cornell, those sorts of schools. I got into some of them. I did not get good scholarship offers from any of them, which is partly why I'm here recording this podcast with Nate and not are rising too well at any of those schools right now. So yeah, your GPA has you on a real bubble at those schools, which means like every point matters. Straight A's from here on out. Has to be your focus. And if LSAT study threatens that grades focus in any way, then forget about the LSAT until after you graduated.
Yeah, literally unsubscribe from LSAT Demon. My advice is taking money out of my own pocket, but you should not be an LSAT Demon student if you're not getting straight A's, if you're still an undergrad.
Yeah.
Thanks for writing in, Adrian. Everybody out there, you can email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.